Coming up on the next SEO Lunch, Google sends a message to BBC, building assets that Google can't take away, and then email optimization that'll blow your mind.
Also, great product design resources, and Twitter relaunches its ad campaign.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of SEO Lunch. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm Dan.
Dan, it's always great to see you. This is the show where we take a bunch of the top stories in SEO, web marketing news, kind of smash it all together for small business and brand new SEOers in 15 minutes or less, or your lunch break. SEO Lunch, that is kind of the play. Visit us on slocumstudio.com/blog and /subscribe. Join the mailing list. Do hit subscribe in YouTube. We want to hit 500, and we're almost there.
Almost there.
500 subscribers.
Are you let's do this. Let's hit 5,000.
Let's hit 5,000. Are you liking the show? Yes, no. What can we do differently? How can we help you out with your small business, web marketing, or brand new SEO needs?
Put it in the comments below, and we will get back to you.
Absolutely. So let's dive right into the recap of this week. Article number 1, Google sends BBC News a manual link penalty notification. We're going to look at what happened with Google and BBC.
Absolutely. And then we're going to talk about, we talk about Google all the time. We're going to talk about how to avoid Google in your web marketing efforts. Patty Mugen's going to take us through that.
Email optimization, a single word change results in a 90% lift in signups. I've seen this myself firsthand, so we're going to take a look at some of these strategies.
And that's important because then we're going to talk about marketing and product design and how they are the same thing, how they are interconnectable.
I did really like that article. What the heck is SEO? Why should I care? Great article by Point Blank SEO. Great for the first timer or brand new business to SEO.
Good article as always. And then we're going to see in the news, Twitter relaunches their ad dashboard with expanded analytics. Find out why. If you want to market with Twitter, it might have just gotten a little bit easier.
Can't wait to actually start marketing with Twitter. It should be fun. Yeah. All right, let's dive into this first one. Google. Good old Google.
Good old Google sending BBC a letter.
Yep. So first of all, why would this be relevant, such a massive site, to small businesses and brand new SEO folks? Well, it's just another good example, at least my point of view, is another good example of how intricate this stuff really is. I mean, manual link penalty notification.
Yep.
What does that mean to the guy who flips pizza? Not much. But it just goes to show you that Google is out there, they're active, and they're looking into even the big players on the web. Make sure they're doing things the right way.
That was my big takeaway, is that they are looking after the big players, so nobody's really safe. We were looked at Interflora before, and we were sort of having that conversation of, are you too big to fail when it comes to Google? And in this case, not so much. This also takes into consideration the fact that they are looking very carefully, because even BBC, at least according to their news report or their response, said we don't know where these unnatural links are, we don't know where they're coming from, and we're looking actively into it.
Yeah, and for those of you that didn't see the Interflora episodes and what happened with that was Google was saying that they were getting some reviews, or they were giving out like free flowers for folks to review their flowers and their product, and that is unnatural in the eyes of Google.
Yeah.
Somebody did not discover the site and just simply write about them. They were prompted to write about them by giving them some free gifts. That's just one example of what an unnatural link might be. Simply paying for a link is illegal in Google, so got to be careful with that. Especially, another good takeaway for this for a small business, you always get those spam coming in. We can rank you higher on Google in 7 days. You can rank number 1 for this keyword. And a lot of that black hat SEO is going to be people buying links, putting you on paid directories, and that is a big no-no.
So how do we avoid that? Well, Patty Mugen of 3 Door Digital is here to talk to us about that, and his answer is real content. Basically, we talk about this a lot, but embracing features of your website, or embracing features that are not built around links or things like that, and just giving yourself compelling content for other people to read. One concept we don't talk about a lot, which is really crucial, is sticky content. So sticky content being content that isn't just something you put out now in the moment, content that can be relevant tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. So for example, if we were to create a blog article, we do that for Press This series, and we discover another plugin, which we just did with membership, we have to go back. We have to continue to use that content that we created before and sort of expand upon it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Reusing content, it is a content marketing world. The other thing that I really liked about this article that I took away was building a list and building your audience. So imagine if you were that brick and mortar store and you have been in business for 10, 15 years. Somebody walks in and just says, I'm gonna take your customer database and just wipe it out.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing business on the wrong street.
Yeah.
Or that kind of thing. Well, that's exactly what you're doing when you're investing all of your marketing and all of your content and list building through Facebook, through Google, through any platform. You're playing in their sandbox, right? And we see that with Facebook all the time. Yeah. At any given point, Facebook could shut down your page that you've worked so hard for to get 5,000 likes, 5,000 fans. And if you did something wrong, like you cross a gray area of a giveaway. Yeah. Well, you really can't be giving away stuff for likes, and Facebook could penalize you for that and then wipe out your whole page.
Yeah, it might not be intentional. It might be something that they had changed the rules on in the middle of the process of you doing something.
Right. It's one of those things where small business folks don't see it until it's too late.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue. And we always try to push when you're building your site, when you're building your WordPress site, it's the hub, right? Yeah. This is where you want to send everything to because at least you own that.
Right. You own that and you own your email list. So if you have your email list and people send you your emails in your email list, you got it. That's your own personal database.
That's right. So great takeaway points on that.
And as far as getting people to join your email list.
Yes. How do you do that? You optimize it with one single word change. You can get over 90% uptake to your email list. And this is true for any kind of call to action. This article is great because it talks about the email list sign up, but this could be the buy now page, free consultation form, contact us. What words can you change? Did we talk about A/B testing last week?
A couple weeks ago we talked about was it last week? Well, one of the weeks we talked about A/B testing and basically taking something you have on your webpage, changing something very minute, and then seeing the response and tracking that. How many more clicks did we get? How many more sales did we get? Things like that.
Yeah. And
based on that slight change.
Yeah, and in this example, they talked about how simply moving up or moving it down actually with the arrow facing down.
Yeah.
Allowed them to go for a 304% increase in conversions. Now, of course, you have to say how many did they totally get.
Yeah, maybe they got three.
Maybe they got three
extra clicks or something compared to one or whatever it might be.
Right.
But it's still really cool to see. There was one where there was a 90% increase in trial signups. Then they changed the name of one from Start Your Free 30-Day Trial to Start My Free 30-Day Trial. That's all they did. They just changed that one word. 90% extra.
Right. And if you're optimizing and you understand that SEO is that wheel, is that constant wheel where you have to 360, where you have to keep going back. And it can't be just one thing and I go set it and forget it and it's going to be good forever. Now, no, you have to go back and you have to change words. You have to change colors. You have to change layout if you want to keep optimizing it. That's optimization, right? That's why you're optimizing.
There's your search engine optimization or your website optimization.
Let's dive into the next one. Marketing and product design are the same thing. Really like this article, really deep and into the mind of the marketer. Into
the mind of marketing guru Seth Godin. And basically, he visited Boston recently to a startup called Intelligently. One that I haven't heard of. I might have to look into that, considering we live so close to Boston. Yep. Have you heard of Intelligently before?
I have.
What are they doing?
That's a great question. I don't know what they're doing,
Very cool.
but I've certainly heard of them in the speak of Boston startups.
In the speak of Boston startups. Yep. Very cool. Take that, Silicon Valley. And what this basically is for you is talking about making your page look approachable with your product that is a need in the market. Talking less about marketing these things that nobody wants. You can't really get away with that these days. Make your page an extension of that. Just simple. It's just like packaging. If I go into the store and I want to buy something and the package looks attractive, I'm going to buy it over one that doesn't look attractive.
Right.
Ceteris paribus.
Right. And one of the things that I really liked from this article that I took away is he states that developers should sit in the hot seat of sales marketing calls for a week and vice versa. The sales marketing should jump into the development or engineer side so they can get a feel for what that's like. Yeah. So it's like one of those most obvious things like, that really makes sense. But a lot of people don't do that. Right. Especially if you're building a product. And then you have to market your product, right? Because that's what comes next. You build the product, you market it, or you do some marketing research first, you build it, but then you kind of get lost behind the scenes. You know, I mean, you forget if you're just a small startup, this is what happens.
Yep.
If you're a mom and pop small business shop, this definitely happens because you are too busy doing everything else. So taking the approach of building a product for your market, right? Not just guessing what they might want, like Apple does, and driving.
No, Apple tells people what they want.
They drive that demand because they're dictating it, and they're doing a great job at it.
Yeah.
But we are not afforded those kinds of resources in that time.
Right, as a small business.
So definitely a great article, pretty deep, but certainly useful.
Good and short. So
yeah,
short and sweet. Which brings us to the next one, which is what the heck is SEO? Why should I care? This comes to us from the fine folks at Point Blank SEO. And what this is for you is basically sort of a infographic going through the history of SEO. But importantly for you folks, it kind of tells you why this exists and why search engine optimization is important for your marketing needs. Talks about ad space on Google. It talks about the amount of people, the amount of traffic that you would get just by landing up there on their search engine results page. Talks about organic searching. So just if somebody searches for this, if you land there, you're getting 20% of the clicks for that search if you're on the first page. And you're making a lot of money because of it. So they break down that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, it's very generic, general overview. Point Blank SEO, I mean, definitely one of the major players in SEO. So, I mean, the only thing I have against this article is all they do is they compare Google. They even show Sergey and Larry, starting off, and that's kind of saying, well, SEO is only about Google. It's not. You have Bing, you have Yahoo, and they show Yahoo, and they show how like Google kind of flies away from that. But search engine could be anything. It could be Yelp. It could be Facebook. It could be Twitter. I mean, it's anything that you're going to search for
something
something in, you can optimize for. So if you're in some kind of directory, you can optimize that. If you're in Yelp, you can optimize for that, Foursquare, that kind of thing. But obviously,
I was going to say we can't deny the fact that Google are absolutely 100% on the top of the throne there.
Right. Exactly. So good article, pretty good looking infographic style.
Just a kind of a general why of search engine optimization.
Last article of the day.
Some news for you.
Twitter relaunches a ad dashboard with expanded analytics. Matt Mickey of Marketing Land. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm kind of weary of advertising on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least for our kind of product, because we put such a humanistic. We talked about
humanistic approach
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That we're building an audience, and Twitter is usually that real personal one-on-one kind of audience.
Yeah.
So I think that if you were to start seeing ads from us in such a closely knit group, it might kind of turn people off.
And that was why I was going to ask you how you felt about this, because I'm not too jazzed about it myself. All of the new updates for Twitter here revolve around promoted tweets rather than just a personal tweet there. If you are running promoted tweets, they will report all of them for you, give you all these little analytics, are going to talk to you about gender, interests, what device they were looking at it on. So, most of my market's on iPhone. Let me tailor whatever this is to the iPhone, develop an iPhone app, whatever it is, or Android or whatever it might be. But it all centers around promoted tweets. It does not center around any reporting for just, I own a Twitter and I want to see what's up.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think, and it's no secret, Twitter probably has the best data out of anybody.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure that the data points are amazing. I'm sure they can dive really deep, even probably further than Facebook.
They just purchased a major
they did
company. The name's escaping me right now.
Yeah.
A major databasing sort of company that has access to all this information and pulls so much juice out of one little tweet or whatever it was.
I think we're just going to have to be super careful on how we craft those advertisements. So it can't be like buy our product, but it has to be like, don't forget SEO Lunch is on every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Like just like reminders or some sort of brand awareness versus just plugging away at here's an advertisement.
Sure.
But it's definitely interesting. I can't wait to check it out. I just haven't had the time to kind of look into it yet for our stuff.
Cool.
So that is a wrap. If you have any other stuff you want us to review on SEO Lunch, a different kind of way that you want us to teach you some awesome web marketing stuff, do let us know. We run a couple other channels. We have our WordPress channel where we talk about all things WordPress. You might have come over there from that. If not, and you are running your site on WordPress, do check it out over on Press This. We air that right after this, actually. Monday nights at 7.
Yeah.
No.
Don't say that.
So again, folks, if you do enjoy this, let us know in the comments. Do hit subscribe. It really helps us out. slocumstudio.com/subscribe and check out the blog. We'll have a new site launching pretty soon. We'll have some other great stuff in the works for you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.